Help! Somebody help me! The desperate cries echoed through the desolate warehouse, but my own were swallowed by the gag stuffed in my mouth. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat counting down my last moments. The kidnappers, their faces grim masks of greed, circled me like vultures. The leader raised a steel pipe, its glint in the dim light a final, cold promise. This was it, the end of my multi-billion-dollar empire, not with a bang, but with a brutal, lonely whimper. Suddenly, a clatter from the far end of the warehouse shattered the tension. A small figure, silhouetted against a broken window, stumbled in. It was a girl no older than 16, her clothes patched and worn, her face smudged with dirt. "Hey, what are you doing?" One of the men barked, annoyed by the interruption. She flinched but held her ground, clutching a rusty tire iron like a lifeline. "Leave him alone," she said, her voice trembling but surprisingly firm. The men laughed, a cruel, harsh sound that bounced off the concrete walls. "Look what we have here," the leader sneered, a little street rat playing hero. He took a menacing step towards her. "Get out of here before you get hurt." But she didn't move. She just stared at them, her eyes wide with a mixture of terror and defiance. That S when I saw it, the flicker of an idea in her gaze as she glanced at a precariously stacked pile of old barrels near the men. Before they could react, she hurled her tire iron with all her might. It wasn't aimed at them, but at the wooden pallet supporting the barrels. It was a perfect shot. The pallet splintered, and with a deafening crash, the heavy metal drums came tumbling down, creating a chaotic avalanche of rust and noise. The kidnappers scrambled to get out of the way, cursing and shouting in confusion. In that brief moment of pandemonium, the girl darted towards me. Her small, nimble fingers worked frantically at the ropes binding my hands. "Hurry," she whispered, her breath coming in ragged gasps. The ropes fell away. I tore the gag from my mouth, gasping for air. "This way," she urged, pulling me towards a grimy service door I hadn't noticed before. We burst out into the night, the cool air a shocking relief. We didn't stop running. We ran through dark alleyways and deserted streets, my expensive leather shoes slapping against the pavement in a clumsy rhythm next to her worn-out sneakers. We didn't stop until the sirens wailed in the distance, a sound that, for the first time in my life, felt like a lullaby. Panting, we collapsed behind a dumpster. I looked at the girl my savior. "You ... You saved my life," I managed to say, my voice hoarse. "Who are you?" She just shook her head, pulling her thin jacket tighter around herself. "It doesn't matter. You're safe now." In that moment I, Alexander Sterling, a man who had everything, realized I owed my life to a girl who seemingly had nothing. I knew then and there that her life and mine would never be the same again. The next day, after hours with the police, my first order of business wasn't to check on my stock prices or reschedule my meetings. It was to find her. My security team, the best in the world, was baffled. "Sir, we have no name, no address, just a vague description." I slammed my fist on my mahogany desk. "I don't care. I want you to scour every shelter, every soup kitchen, every corner of this city. Find her." Days turned into a week. My life returned to its glossy, high-powered routine, but it felt hollow. The boardroom felt sterile, the billion-dollar deals meaningless. My mind kept replaying the image of her defiant eyes and the sound of her trembling voice. I was haunted by the girl who had risked everything for a complete stranger. Every time I saw a young girl on the street with patched clothes, my heart would leap. Finally, my head of security walked into my office, a thin file in his hand. "Sir, we think we found her. Her name is Lily. She's an orphan. Lives at the St. Jude's Home for Children on the East Side." A wave of relief so profound washed over me that I had to sit down. St. Jude's. It was one of the many charities my company donated to, a faceless line item on a budget spreadsheet. Now it had a face. I drove there myself, dismissing my chauffeur. The orphanage was an old, austere building, clean but worn with time and too many children's hopes and sorrows. I found Lily in the garden, tending to a small patch of wilting flowers. She looked up as I approached, her eyes widening in recognition. She looked even smaller and more fragile in the daylight. "Alexander Sterling," I said, extending a hand. "I never got to thank you properly." She wiped her dirt-stained hand on her jeans before shyly shaking mine. "It was nothing," she mumbled, looking down at her flowers. "It was everything," I replied, my voice thick with emotion. "Lily, I want to help you. Anything you want. A new home, a new life, the best education money can buy. Name it and it's yours." She looked at me, a genuine, curious expression on her face. "Why?" she asked simply. The question caught me off guard. "Because you saved me," I said. "No," she said, shaking her head. "I mean, why do you have so much when others have so little? Like these flowers, they just need a little water and care to bloom, but the hose doesn't reach this far." Her words hit me harder than any corporate negotiation. In her simple analogy, she had summed up the fundamental injustice of the world. She didn't want a reward. She wanted to understand. She wanted fairness. Right there, in that humble garden, I made a new vow. It wasn't just about repaying Lily. It was about honoring her spirit. I started by having a new irrigation system installed for the entire garden, but that was just the beginning. I didn't just adopt Lily, giving her the family she never had. I established a Lily Foundation, dedicating a substantial portion of my fortune to helping orphanages and underprivileged children worldwide. Lily became the heart of the foundation, her innate compassion and wisdom guiding our mission. She taught me that true wealth isn't measured in dollars, but in the lives you can change. She didn't just save my life that night in the warehouse. She saved my soul from the emptiness of my own riches. And together we started planting gardens in forgotten corners of the world, making sure the water reached everyone. Thank you so much for watching our story today. If you were moved by Lily's journey, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll see you in the next video.